Hello guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you all a real case study of automating social media posting for a client. Although this automation seems simple, I've charged about 600 USD for building this system. I'll be explaining about the client's pain points, the solution we implemented, the obstacles that came up, and how we overcame them to solve and complete the project successfully. And the best part is you'll be getting the templates and blueprints for completely free. So make sure you stick till the end. Alright, let's get started. So firstly, I'll be explaining about the pain points of the client and why we did not use direct platforms like Buffer. So why Buffer wasn't a better solution for this, Buffer or Metricool or any social media post scheduling platforms. So the entire goal of this automation is to automate the posting process. So in that case, everyone would have thought, okay, you could use Buffer, you could use Metricool, but I'm going to be explaining why that is not the case here, why we cannot use that, and what are some other pain points of the clients. So firstly, you could see that multiple team members wanted the ability to upload content. So it's like not one person, so it's like multiple persons would want to put the files into a drive. So in that case, using a Google Drive, like sharing a specific folder of a Google Drive and giving editor access to them would just help them to just easily come and put in the content over there. So this is one point. And the second, the most important and the hardest part is that all of the files were not in the format that is supported by social media platforms. So for example, Instagram supports only videos or reels less than 128 audio bitrate. So if you've got more audio and video bitrate, Instagram is not going to accept that. Instagram Reels module is not going to accept that. So in Make, if you try this, you would get this error. So not just in Instagram, not just in Make.com's Instagram module. So any platform, it could be like a Buffer, it could be Metricool, anywhere you use this social media post, which does not have the right encoding, right video encoding. In that case, it is not going to work because it is not going to match with the specifications, specifications of the video format that they accept. So in that case, so this is for videos and for images. So for images, we've got like TIFF file format, which exceeded more than 100 megabytes. So all the social media platforms only accept images up to 8 megabytes only. So in that case, there was a need to completely convert, whether it's images or videos, we got to convert the format into the right format that is acceptable by the social media platforms. So that was the second case. So if you were to go and upload these images into Buffer, whether it is reels or images, Buffer would just say, oh, sorry, it is not in the right format. Yeah, you got to manually do the changes and then go and upload them again. And the next one is no centralized database to track and manage their content. So it's basically a database to manage things. So this is one point, and the next one is difficulty in reusing existing content efficiently for future posts. So let's say you're using Buffer or Metricool. In that case, I think in Metricool it might be a bit easier, but at the end, Metricool is very expensive. But also in Buffer or any platform, rescheduling posts is not, it could be easier, but not as easy in this system that we built, where you could just go to the Google Sheet and just change the status of the post into pending, and then you're just rescheduling an existing post that was used. So it is possible, but again, it is manual work, time consuming when you're trying to, reuse the existing content. And the next is the process always added requiring, okay, let me not read this, but the point is that the company has their Google Drive connected to other sources where the images would be like automatically pushed into Google Drive. So in that case, the automation helps to take that images from Google Drive and go post inside their social media. But if it was Buffer or Metricool, then we got to take from here, go and upload there. It is time consuming, right? But if it is connected directly with Google Drive, the image is pushed to Google Drive, and from Google Drive, it is sent to social media. So that is the concept. This is one point. And the last one. So the last one is using AI to write captions for the post. So if you're using it on Buffer or Metricool, or you're scheduling it manually, in that case you would need to go to ChatGPT or anywhere and make it write the captions, copy it, put it inside over here, and so on. But in this case, creating the captions part is automated, so nothing to worry about the captions. So the only thing that the client literally had to do is just put in the type of content inside the Google Drive folder, and from there it is just sent into their social media account. So these are the pain points. So let me now walk you through the system and show you all how the automation works. So before that, let me show you like a solution that we've used, like a simple explanation. So for images, converting an image is quite easier. We could use Cloud Convert, and the free tier itself is more than enough if you're just processing less than guess 8 or 10 images per day. So Cloud Convert for converting the images, for optimizing the images, like converting the format and then reducing the size and optimizing the image to a lesser size. And after that, we've got change the encoding of a video as per the requirements of social media platforms. So let's say if a video has higher audio bitrate, higher video bitrate, and higher size, that case it is not going to be accepted by Instagram or TikTok or any social media platform, right? Not any social media platform, but not for Instagram or TikTok. So that was the problem with the videos. So this is one point, and the next one is using Zapier and Buffer with the free plan to post stories and TikTok videos. So I've already made a video on how you can post stories to Instagram from Make.com, how to post TikTok Reels from Make.com. I already made a video on that. So we use Zapier and Buffer for that. So we could use with the stick with the free plan of both their platforms. So the free plan would be enough if you're making like less than 50 posts, but if you're exceeding more than 50 stories and TikTok both combined, in that case you would need to get the paid plan, or else you could just stick with the free one. So the next one would be like setting up Google Sheet database to track and manage the content. So these are a small brief about some solution that we've implemented. So this one is the most interesting part in this entire solution, which was kind of like a big nightmare. So let me start with the scenario. So firstly, so you can see this is the Google Drive folder. You can see it's called upload new. So here's where the person would come and they could just come and upload like a new folder. They could create a new folder, and if it is Carousel, they could create a new folder and put in like how many of a Carousel posts they want. And if it is just video, or if it is just a reel or photo post, they could just directly upload the file right into this folder. And once you do that, what would happen next is that so this specific automation watches that specific Google Drive folder, and what it does is it searches for that file, and then what it would just find what is that file format, whether it is an image or it is a reel or it is a Carousel. So that is why we've got 3 routes over here. So the first one is for the image, second one is for Carousel, and the third one is for videos or reels. So the first one is going to be for image, like said, and it is going to download the file and convert the file into a JPG format, because ChatGPT only accepts, I guess, JPG or PNG, and we give it to ChatGPT. The reason we give it to ChatGPT is for it to write a caption for that specific post. So then we give it to ChatGPT, and then we just upload this file, the converted file, back into Drive, and then we add a row. So what this means is that we are adding it into the database that I still haven't showed you all. So this is going to be the database. It would just add it over here. It would just add the title and the folder ID, the type of the post, whether it is Carousel or photo or video, and along with the link to the file and the captions and the status of the post. So I'll come back to this later. So coming back to this, so it uploads to the Drive and then moves the file to a folder called as queue. So here you could see something called queue. So here it would just move the folder, which means that the post is pending to be posted. And then coming back, and it is going to be the same for Carousel as well. So for the Carousel, we would just take any one image, and based on that we write the captions. So you can see we download the file, again we convert it, again we send it to ChatGPT, because we only take the first part of the image. So you can see we aggregate. So when it is Carousel, we would have multiple images over there. So in that case, we just aggregate it, and after that we use parsing and just get the first images link, and then use that link to download, then again convert it into JPG and then send it to ChatGPT. And then once that is done, we add the captions, the post, and all the information to Google Drive. So how the Carousel post is added is it is added with a comma. So here you can see is a Carousel post. So they are actually added using comma. So here, let me show you example. So here what it does is the text aggregator combines it by adding a comma over here. So we add the link and add like a comma. And now what happens is that every link is combined and added with a comma. So here, this is how we combine all the links of each images, and then we add it to the row and say it is a Carousel. So I'll try to open it, and you can see that it is Carousel. So now for the videos, it is kind of the same. So the only difference is that for the videos, we don't really give it to AI. We use like a templated format where the client is given like a list of 20 or 30 captions, and each time we just pick in a random way from one of the captions and just make sure it does not pick the previously used captions again. So let me show that. So on the same sheet, we could see something called video captions. So over here, what would happen is that first it would just post one after the other, and at the end, let's say every single post is posted, there is another automation. What it does is, as soon as when everything is marked as posted, it would just immediately trigger that automation, and everything would again become as pending. So now the loop starts again. So I hope that makes sense. So it's like they post one after the other, and let's say this one is also marked as posted. And what would happen is that once everything is marked as posted, there would be an automation that triggers and converts everything as pending. And now it would again get started from the first. So that is how this specific part works. So this is for video captions. So once all these are done, it is pushed to the database over here, like shown. It is pushed to the database, and once it is pushed to the database, it is marked as pending, which means that the post is yet to be made. And after that comes the posting scenario. So this is the next scenario, which is the posting scenario. So once the post is pushed into the database, it is then picked up by this automation and then pushed to the respective social media platforms. So first we can see the Google Sheet. It searches for rows and it checks if the status is pending. So if the status is pending, it immediately takes it, and it just takes it based on the scheduled date and times, and then what it would do is just categorize based on whether it's a reel or a photo or a carousel. So okay, let's get started with carousel. So if it's a carousel, it would push the image over here, and I think I've already said over here we add like aggregation. So we combine everything based on the comma. So now what we do is we split everything based on comma. So once we split everything, we are now able to create them as an array. So once we're able to create them as an array, now we are able to iterate them. So once we iterate them, like we send it to Google Drive, so Google Drive downloads the file. Once Google Drive downloads, we upload that into Cloud Convert, and after that we add some delay, and after that we optimize the file. So let's say that although Cloud Convert is able to convert the file from whatever format into a JPG, sometimes the file size could be higher. So in that case, we're just using optimized file where it makes sure that the final file is less than 8 megabytes so that it is posted to the platforms. So once all these are done, we again aggregate it based on the final length that we get from this one. So this converts the file, and after that we optimize the file. So here we get the final link that is ready to be posted. So since this is a carousel, we'd be doing it for multiple images. So we do it for like 3 or 4 or how many ever images, and then combine them all into like a single using comma again. And after that, now comes the posting. Now we just iterate and aggregate it based on the format that is supported by this Instagram module. So the purpose of this aggregator is it aggregates based on the input format that is supported by this specific Instagram module. So you iterate and then aggregate it based on this module, and then we just put in the image into this. So here you can see that we put in the array from the previous module, and we put in the captions from the Google Sheet, the first most module. And after that we just save, and it just creates the carousel post, and then it would be just marked as success in the Google Sheet. So you can see here it is marked as success right after the post is done. So that is exactly the same for Facebook as well. So we create like a carousel post with the same format, and after that we update the row. Well, like this, there's no need for this module. Delete it. Yeah, and that's it. And after that we mark the post as success. So over here you can see this as success and posted. So it is marked as success and marked as posted. And once that is done, we move the file into the archived folder. So over here we've got queue. So once the post has been made, it is moved into archived folder automatically. So this is how the posting works. So coming back, so this is how it works for Carousel. It is exactly the same for others as well, but the conversions, and there could be like a small difference. So first we download for this, again we convert the file, and again we optimize the file, and then we create the carousel post for this for Instagram, and do the same for Facebook. And Facebook, we gotta put it as a buffer data. We gotta download the file. It does not support direct link, so we gotta download the file and then just add it inside this module, and then again it updates it as success. If it fails, it would just update as failed, and after that it would just go and mark it as posted and move it to archives. So coming back to Reel, here comes the most interesting part, and the most part where, you know, it was a bit hard to figure out. So for Instagram, like I've said, problem with Instagram was they've got like a strict requirements. So if I were to open this, you could see that this is exactly the format that you're supposed to follow. And if there's something that is disturbing this format, there is no way the post is going to be created on this module. So all of the videos that the clients, literally all of the videos that the client had, never matched with this requirements or this specific encoding settings. So what we did was basically we wanted to encode the video and render it in a different format. Gotta render it into the encoding and do it as per this specification, this requirement. So in that case, when I checked online, I could see all of the video encoding APIs in online were very expensive, and it was not really worth to spend on them. So first you could take Creatomate. Creatomate is like an online video editing API using JSON. So they were able to render and give the exact same format as per the requirements. So the name of the platform is Creatomate. This is the name of the platform. So I've already made a video about that. I'll link that down in the description. So I mean, made a video about Creatomate. I think it is third or fourth video on my channel. So that, yeah, I'll link that down below. So the problem with Creatomate is they charge, I think they charge like $50 per month. So when it is $50 per month, per year, it's about $600 per year. So the only thing was, so that was something, you know, not very, it sounded very acceptable. So that is why when I've decided to create like a software, like a custom coded solution where we host the project on AWS or something. And before that, I was able to figure out like a simple solution, which is use Facebook. So if this method didn't work, so the only final solution would have been to create like a custom coded solution where we create our own cloud server and render the video and change it to a new encoding. So that would have been the solution, but now we made it much easier by using Facebook. So what Facebook does is Facebook just accepts video in all format. So that was where I figured out that so now we are able to upload any type of video into Facebook. So whether it is whatever format, whether it is in a higher bitrate, lower bitrate, it does not have like a specific requirements. So even when I try to open this module, you can see that there is no requirements or anything mentioned when compared to this one. So we were able to upload to Facebook without any sort of disturbance. So Facebook never really created any issues. So that is where I found a trick where once we upload to Facebook, we use like an external API that scrapes and downloads that video that we uploaded to Facebook. So what this API does is, I took this from Zapier API. So once you upload the video into Facebook, so now Facebook converts that into the requirements into the video specification as per Instagram. Facebook does that. So now while you're using like an external API to download that from Facebook, now they give you the video link with the exact requirements mentioned over here. You could see. So now, since we're able to get that video in that required format, we then go and create a post on Instagram. And if it is success, we update it. Success, failure, it is failure. As simple as that. So the point that I'm trying to say is that we were able to encode the video by using Facebook. So first we upload it to Facebook. Facebook just compresses the video and just converts it into the format that is supported by Meta, by their platform. And after that, we just use an external API and download that video, which is now in the required format. And then while creating the post, we just use that specific link that we've got from this previous module and create the post. So let me open this. So you can see that we get this module from this, we get this link from this specific module, which now has this exact requirements. So we don't have to do, so it is going to work. So it is going to get posted and this works. As simple as that. So I could have built like a custom software hosted in cloud to encode the video and, and so on. But this was like a much simpler life hack or something, where things just became much more simpler. So thanks to Facebook for that. So yes, that is it for this video. So I've actually made like a separate video regarding how to encode this video based on this specific, this specific part, how to encode a video into the requirements of Instagram and other social media platforms. So make sure to watch that video, which I'll link down in the description. So this is one part, and next comes posting stories, next comes posting TikToks, and so on. So let me just show real quick how the stories work. Alright, so this is for stories, where it is pretty much the same way we used before. It searches for the rows, and after that it just takes the information. So it's pretty much the same. There's a separate folder in Google Drive to upload stories. So the client would just put in stories there. It would take and put it inside the Google database here. So this sheet is for the Instagram content, and here comes for the stories. So all the stories would be put inside here, and once it is put here, we would then our posting scenario. This scenario would take that story, and if it is a photo, it would just convert it and send it to a Google Sheet, which then sends it to Zapier, and from Zapier we send it to Buffer, and then comes at the bottom we've got the same. So like I said, for video. So for video, like I said, again, the video encoding is going to be different than the requirement. So the platforms are going to fail. For that, again, we upload the video, get the video information, download the video, and then we add it inside the Google Sheet. The reason why I'm adding Google Sheet, so this Google Sheet means Instagram stories. So okay, so this could be set as Instagram stories for videos, and this could be set as for images. So the reason I add this to this Google Sheet is because this is connected to Zapier. So it would just get sent to Zapier, and Zapier would trigger it and send to Buffer, and from Buffer we create the post. So let me show that real quick. This is the Zapier scenario. So let me open for story videos. So what would happen is that as soon as a new row is added, this trigger would be done instantly, and after that it is sent to Buffer to be posted to Instagram stories. So after that, Buffer would just take that and post into the Instagram account. So I've made a detailed video already regarding how you can do this setup. I'll link that also in the description. So this is already made as a separate video. I believe it is right before this video, so you could check that and see how you can post the stories. So this is for posting stories, and it is exactly the same for TikTok as well. Let me go back, and yeah, here's TikTok, and it is exactly the same for TikTok as well. So again, in TikTok, in the posting scenario itself, you can see in the posting scenario, this is a posting scenario that I just explained. Right before we send to Instagram, there is this Google Sheet module which I never explained, which is meant for TikTok, which is meant for TikTok Reels. Alright, so once you put it here, it would trigger the Zapier, and from Zapier it would trigger this flow in Zapier, and from Zapier it is sent to Buffer, and from Buffer it is posted to TikTok. So the reason we're using Buffer and Zapier is because the Instagram stories and the TikTok is not supported in Make.com. That's why we use these platforms. Also, I've made like a separate video, dedicated video, and how you can do this for TikTok, which is also a link down in the description. So I've made for TikTok, for Instagram stories, I've made separate videos for that, but I'm just trying to give like a quick walkthrough about how this works. So this is pretty much it. This is how the end-to-end system works. So coming back to this, so this is what I gotta say. This was the hardest part to figure out, and yeah, so we were able to figure that out. So or else the solution would have been like time consuming to build and also like much more harder to maintain, but now we were able to achieve that by using Facebook, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. So for stories, you could see that while posting, we want to change the encoding. So for that, previously we were uploading to both Instagram and Facebook. So we upload to Facebook, and then we take that, download that, and upload it to Instagram. But now we just only uploading to Instagram stories. So Facebook is just used for changing the encoding and video requirements. So at the last, you could see I've added like a delete a post. So it's like you can create like a trial demo or dummy account where you put in the video and then download it back with the required encoding and delete the video on Facebook, and now use that to upload to Instagram stories. So I hope this makes sense. So that is it for this video. So these both are some advantages of the system. So for this current system, like I said, the monthly cost is just covered within the Make.com cost, where Make.com is used for other processes as well. So there's no monthly cost for this, because Cloud Convert is supported within the free plan, And also, like I said, Zapier and Buffer is also used within the free plan. So if you want to get more context about Zapier and Buffer for stories and TikTok, please make sure to check the other two videos that I've made separately for how to post stories and how to post TikTok from make.com, which I link down in the description. So that is it for this video, guys. Yeah, so let me go through this point. So first is this one. It's this point, which is the entire system just runs in the $10 per month, which is covered under the make.com expense, where they used to run other automations as well. And so there's no dedicated costs for this automation. And second comes supports all type of video format, as they will be converted within the automation. Yeah, this is obvious. Like you've shown, we achieved this with the help of Facebook. So that is it for this video. I think I've explained everything. So please do let me know if you've got any doubts. I'm more than happy to answer them, and feel free to let me know. And thank you so much for taking your time and checking into this video, and cheers.